How's that for a sound check? Yeah. All right, you already see the title. She wildin', but let's hear her out.
$85% of niggas is homosexuals.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think that.
Yes.
Nowadays,
niggas be fucking around, nigga.
I mean, the
niggas
only
be
reason
fucking around,
why
nigga.
I think that is because
Y'all finna say some weird shit. Watch. Go.
I'm not about to say no weird shit. You
I
know
don't
that.
think it's
Pause. Just answer me this. What you like, trade or what you like? Tell me what you like, for real. You like trade or what the fuck do you prefer?
Why you been so crazy? Yeah, trade, they cool or whatever.
No, what the fuck do you prefer? Not they cool.
I don't say trade, but I prefer like a nigga. Like I want a nigga.
Man,
okay,
like,
and keep it fucking real.
What's up?
The niggas that you like, 9 times out of 10, they be on the low, huh?
No, I don't play that.
So you don't play
But
that.
let me speak for everybody.
Do people actually watch this podcast? Wow.
Bruh.
Clearly this podcast is in Atlanta. So she says 85% of men are homosexual. Look, are you talking about in Atlanta or the United States of America? Because if you're talking about Atlanta or whatever area, metropolis of Atlanta you're in, maybe that's right. Maybe it's obviously it's not going to be 85%, but it'll probably be high. It'll be probably 50 to 60%. I get it, but in the grand scheme of things, in the United States of America, there are 50 states, a lot of cities. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually girls like that be like life coaches and shit, giving people advice. Me, I don't even want to listen to this no more because the dude on the right, it's clear to us or everybody here that he's gay on the right, but it's interesting though because she, like I said, you know, women use that as a diss. Yet they be all pro LGBT. Like anytime a guy will say anytime a guy tries to say something about ladies or whatever, you know, one of the disses that they try to use is, "Oh, you must be gay." And now you look at stuff like this. She's saying that as a diss. Yet they're pro LGBT.
NANI?
Cap. You know what I mean? But yeah, obviously she's an idiot. But you know what? I'll say this. The problem is when you don't travel or you haven't traveled outside of your little city or whatever place you're from, you think that like people just think that like black people are just everywhere. You know, they like when they look at the statistics and they be like, "Oh my God, black people are only 15% of the population, 13%." I'm like, yeah. It's not. The percentages are not far off. And the problem is when black people travel, usually if they're in a place where there's a lot of black people, say like if you're from let me think of a black city. Okay, if you're from like a city in New Jersey, like Newark, where there's like a high, or say somewhere like DC where there's a high concentrated place of black people, but you don't really travel out, and the only time you travel out is to somewhere in New York or to Philadelphia, since Philadelphia is only like an hour from like a black city in New Jersey. So in your mind, you think that there's just black people everywhere like that. But if you just go to Connecticut, my home state, it'll probably be like black people like obviously in Bridgeport, New Haven. What else am I missing? You know, any city, Hartford. You know what I'm saying? Bristol. But if you go, do you know how many other cities there are in Connecticut? Like that's when I felt like traveling around for like soccer and stuff, that's what put me all like, oh, they ain't black people around like this. You ever go to them soccer? Like anybody that been on soccer tournaments, any black man that been on soccer tournaments, and you start figure out, oh, I'm like, damn, how many cities are there? And most of them cities, you'll be hard pressed to find like two black people in a section. I remember going through towns. I'm like, there's not one black person here. You know what I'm saying? So whatever that situation, like clearly she doesn't even like leave Atlanta, and when she does leave Atlanta, she'll go to like Miami, or she'll go to like a city where there's a high concentrated thing of black people. So in her mind, 85% of the men are homosexual, because clearly, I don't even know what this podcast is called, but clearly she's from Atlanta. Clearly, when she's saying 85%. She's from Atlanta. First of all, I hear them talking. They're definitely from Atlanta. So that's just her reality. You know what I'm saying? That's just her reality. But that's the problem when you don't travel. And I'm gonna have to call out like my one of my favorite comedians, Corey Holcomb. You know, Ryan Davis had came on there one time, and he was just talking about like the stats of, you know, there's not a whole lot of black people really in America. I'm not saying that the numbers are skewed, but he was just bringing it up as a point, and they just poo-pooed his point. I'm like, but these are like the stats, you know what I'm saying? And Corey Holcomb just poo-pooed it. But what Corey Holcomb doesn't understand, like, okay, wherever Corey Holcomb goes to do his comedy, black people are gonna come out in droves just to see him. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, most of these states, it'll just be it's white town after white town after white town. They don't like people like Corey Holcomb grew up in Chicago, and then he moved to L.A., and then most of his money is made in those big cities where black people are going to show up because of him, because he's one of the GOATs. So he doesn't even get it, like where I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure his view of Connecticut, because the only time he's gone to Connecticut has been to Bridgeport and Hartford. So in his mind, oh, niggas is everywhere. These stats is off. It's not. Like if you go to like I said, there's just too many towns like Trumbull, Ridgefield, Darien, Groton. You know what I'm saying? It's too Wilton, Westport. I said Fairfield, right? I know I did not say Fairfield. Fairfield, Southport. It's just too many towns. And I'm talking about those Middletown. Like I remember going to Middletown. I'm like, I have not seen one black person here. I have not seen one black person, bro. That's what these towns, there's so many towns. So many rural areas just full of just straight up white. Those are straight white towns, bruh. You know what I mean? And I think when people don't travel or people don't like really see it, they'll just think that, oh no, black people everywhere. Like in England, black people are only 6% of the population, and people are like, huh? But the way they portray it, you know what I'm saying? You think that these guys are taking over, but these stats are not far off. And on top of that, take into account how many Planned Parenthoods are in every hood that you see. The numbers are not far off. I'm sorry to say that. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how Ryan Davis and Corey Holcomb are now basically. It's not like they fell off with each other, but clearly there's been a rift ever since that episode. You know what I'm saying? Even though he came back, I think 2 times after that episode, but you know, if I'm not saying the stats are not off, but to say that they're not far off, bro. Because I know in my state, yeah, that I'm sorry, or if you live in Montana, if you live in Iowa, if you live in Wisconsin, those numbers are not off. Those numbers are not off. You know what I'm saying? There's just too many of these states, too many of these towns, too many of these rural areas. Black people don't be in there. Like when you see like a lot of black people, it'll be like one city. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be concentrated in one area, and that'll be people's reality. You know what I'm saying? Now she sounds crazy to the motherfucker, but it's a lot. If you don't travel, you'll say stuff like this. If you don't know what it's like outside of your her Atlanta bubble, because this is clearly got to be an Atlanta show. I see it's a gay dude and two girls talking crazy, two high testosterone girls. So yeah, this got to be an Atlanta show if I do my research. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't do your research and you don't travel a whole lot. You say nonsense.